Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel, and since this is crud season, I thought I'd do tips on how to get healthier, faster. Really, we're not really ever sick. Our vessels have things that are passing through them, and so yeah, I wanted to give you a few tips that have helped me during this season of crud. Recently, my baby, he's 3 years old now. He's still on the hemp formula. If those that have been following, that has been watching some of my videos, know that I've made a homemade, I've been giving my baby homemade hemp, and he is currently still on that formula. Um, He's 3 years old, but he still likes to, the formula in the cup. I don't make it the same way. I make it more watery, because he eats everything else and he drinks everything else. And so I don't put the Irish sea moss inside of the formula. Although I do give him herbs, the Irish sea moss separately as a mix, especially during this crud season. He's recently started a new daycare, and so as you know, he's at a learning center that there's new bugs. New things to adjust to, I guess. The stress of his body, maybe all the changes, everything being different, could cause stress externally, which will affect sometimes your vessel. When you go through different changes, you're around new children with new things happening with them. And so, yes, he's had a bug or something passing through the body that we've dealt with that uh, you know, I guess picked up. Um, I don't know. I can't say I know where it comes from. I just know that these tips came about because of those. I kind of thought about it. I said, it'd be good to share. Basically, lately, I normally don't eat sugar, but for some reason, I've had these sugar uh, urges that I went ahead and just given into. It was years that I kind of stayed away from sugar, and I just ate like agave. I would make candy and pies with agave and cookies. And so lately I've just been kind of treating myself, I guess that's what you call it, indulging in sugary treats such as donuts, yeah, cinnamon rolls, and recently I bought these little nuggets from Whole Foods that I would eat occasionally. But around this season, I noticed that I've done way too much, and I feel like that's the reason why my body was easy. I changed the pH balance in my body, and it affected me during this season. And I picked up something passed through this vessel, and so I had to kind of jump on it with the baby. So the baby and I both were coughing, and phlegm was coming up. It was like more of an upper respiratory. I never really felt sick because of the herbs. And so I want to go over all of those tips that I did. Basically, if you've been following me, you know my powerhouse herbs that I've always do. Milk thistle, number one. It boosts your glutathione levels. Um, it's a cleanser also if you have heavy metals. It's a liver cleanser. It's one big, if you're dealing with issues with your liver, this is the herb to have. Of course, it's the herb for the bugs that are flying around here. It's big on fighting the big C. Because it does boost your glutathione levels, which is your master antioxidant. And if that is up, then you are pretty much not sick because it is in full form, full action, fighting mode. And it is really good. Milk thistle, if you don't have it in your cupboard, you need to go ahead and stock it now, because it's one of the big herbs. And then the second one, dandelion root. Dandelion fights the proteins that are in some of these viruses. It doesn't even allow them to replicate uh, anymore. Once you get that dandelion in there, things are going to happen. It's going to start killing. It's going to start boosting, killing the bacteria, the infection, all of that stuff. Dandelion is another powerhouse herb. I've always talked about wormwood. Wormwood fights cancer. Of course, all of these do. But wormwood in particular is big with fighting carcinogens. It's a cleanser too. It's a powerhouse herb. Only thing with wormwood, you do feel a little drowsy with it. It does give you a feeling as if you had a drink. But once your body gets used to it, it doesn't anymore. I mean, it's still good. I mean, you can give it to children. It's still safe. And it, I mean, once it gets in your system gets used to it. After about the second or third day, you don't have that feeling anymore. But you will have the feeling of that. With all herbs, of course, you want to drink plenty of water. Of course, you want to have boost your zinc, and which I do. I get that baobab powder, and it's full of potassium, magnesium, zinc. And I always mix, like lately I've been doing the powder mix because I'm just too lazy to do the capsules. So I always add a little bit of that in there with my mixtures. Okay, we got the 3 herbs, the 3 powerhouse herbs, dandelion, milk thistle. Okay, let's talk about the herbs that help with runny noses. And this is not my tips on how to get faster. These are just the ones that I already do. So in case you haven't watched the other videos, you know that you need to start with your base pack. And so if you're going to do any herbs, I would definitely do the dandelion and the milk thistle. The elderberry, these are the herbs that helps with runny nose. The mullein helps with runny nose and cough. If you want the expectorants, the runny noses, you're going to do the mullein. The lots of elderberry, and then you're going to add the Irish sea moss and bladderwrack. Irish sea moss and bladderwrack helps with the runny noses and the coughs too. And so those 4 right there are going to be your runny nose cough herbs. You can always add nettle, a little chaparral. Little chaparral is going to bring up the heat when it comes to killing infections. It's really good. It's another one kind of like the milk thistle and dandelion. It's just going to act differently inside your body, a different way. You can't use a lot of chaparral. You can only add 1 gram of that a day. And most people don't put that much in anyway, but with it in there, you're getting well fast, okay? Now, those are the basics. Your basic herbs that you just want to have there. Of course, everybody knows the turpentine pure gum spirits. You want to make sure it's 100% pure gum spirits. This is going to kill the phlegm. This is going to give you fast acting. I feel good after 15 minutes feeling. When you take that turpentine with those herbs, you can take turpentine without it and still feel that, but the herbs is just going to give it extra boost, healing boost. Turpentine takes away all of the extra coughing, the headaches, the stuffy noses too. And basically eats up that congestion really quick. So if you have one of these infections that you find that you got a lot of phlegm and stuff, that's what you need to do. A teaspoon of that 4 times a day, or a tablespoon a couple of times a day. If it's a child, a couple of drops, in their herbs. I do like a little herbal mixture, like for my baby when he's having runny nose. I do the elderberry, the mullein, the milk thistle, the dandelion. And then I add a little of my frankincense and myrrh oil. Everybody knows about that. If you haven't, watch that video. Watch that one too. Frankincense and myrrh, it fights a lot of, if they have a lot of phlegm and it's really strong, that will help knock it out. You add a teaspoon of that, or a half teaspoon if it's for, a baby such as mine, 1 year old. You're going to add a little bit of the elderberry, the mullein. These are all ground up. Maybe a drop of turpentine, half teaspoon of that frankincense and myrrh. You mix it up. I always add agave to make it a little sweetener, a little baobab to bring some flavor, and a little licorice. You know, they have the little droplets that are not with alcohol, just to give the flavor better, because that frankincense and myrrh is nature's elixir, but it is so bitter. It is bitter. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I mean, it gives you that, you know, in the back of your throat. So, but this is one key that I wanted to give you that's even more, this is fast acting. To make all these like really fast acting is to alkaline your body. If you want to get over illnesses really quickly, these herbs are powerhouse too. They will get you over it faster. I've gotten over stuff like, they call it the COVID. I had all of those symptoms. I never even gotten sick with just the herbs, you know, down sick. I knew that something was there, but with these herbs, you don't really get down. You can still function. But if you want to get over it faster, I've always had to take those herbs at least 3 weeks. I always say 3 weeks. It doesn't matter what, all these bugs that are out now, you take your herbs for 3 weeks, whether you feel good or not, you know. But to get over it, add especially if you start to get, like with me, because all of the sugars that I ate, it was giving me like thrush or something. I had white patches on the back of my throat. At first I thought I had mono, but my throat wasn't really hurting. It was dry. And I realized that was candida, you know, because of all that sugar that I was eating, which I've stopped since then. Gone back to my agave. I'm like, my body just doesn't like it. And I know this. I know this. But I got my body out of whack, pH wise, so I had to bring it back in whack. And I realized once I did it, everything just dried up. And I gave my baby some of this apple cider vinegar. I put a little bit in his little mixture, and it just dried him up. I mean, it brought the pH balance back to a normal regulated level. So you have to find, sometimes you have too much yeast, too much sugars in your body, and you can throw your pH levels off. What I did, I gargled the apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoonful, and I did that like 3 times a day, and then I drank it down. And I noticed that everything was just drying up faster. The coughing was leaving. All of that was going because I was getting my body back into balance. And once you more alkaline, your body heals much faster. And another thing that I did, which was really gross, I thought it's not really gross because at first I used to do it and it, you know, I got used to it, but adding a little bit of baking soda to your water. And when you drink that, that's gonna flush out a lot of the toxins that are in your body. It's gonna restore your pH balance. But if you do those together, I'm telling you, you're not gonna be sick long. I mean, you're gonna start feeling well faster. It's gonna, all those herbs, the basic herbs, have those too, but at the same time, alkaline your body. If you do that first, because most people eat a lot of processed foods, which are box foods. You know, they don't cook as much, so they're adding sugar to their foods. They're not using agave. And if you're doing that, then it can affect the healing time of your vessel. And so what you want to do is bring your vessel back, your body, when I say your vessel, back to restore the pH balance and even push it further into a more alkaline body. More alkaline body is going to heal faster. Carcinogens can't hold on to an alkaline body. They're going to flush out. Any toxins is going to be washed away faster. So if you can do a couple bottles, 2 to 3 bottles of baking soda water, and with children, I would just, I mean, you could do the baking. They don't want to drink baking soda water, but you can do the half teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and mix it with a little agave so it tastes sweet. That's what I do. Tastes sweet. And I put it in there, and I noticed that all that stuff just dried up so fast. He started getting a little pink eye. That started drying up fast. And I've given you the remedy for the pink eye. I just mixed a little baking soda water baking soda in the water to dissolve as well. And then I put droplets in the eyes, you know, as many times. Sometimes they need as many as 5, 6, but this recently did need about 4, you know, 5 times a day when they're home. Of course, when they're not, you're going to do it before they go to daycare, and then when they come home, and then again right before bed. But it will just clean out all those toxins. With all of that, you're going to find fast healing. So basically, the tips are to fast healing, just to get the body more to alkaline. And you could do that through foods. You can do that with leafy greens too. Eat more leafy greens, more salads, adding more stuff, sour, fermented things that are fermented in vinegar, such as sauerkraut, coleslaw, pickles, or just goes the direct path would be to just take the teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar, you know, or the tablespoon for adults, you know, half teaspoon for kids. But that will boost you right on from acidic to alkaline, which will boost the healing in your body. And then you and your family can enjoy this season without the crud. Someone told me, they said, sound like you got the crud, because my voice was going out and everything. And so, yeah, I wanted to leave you all with that. I really like my contemplations of the heart video too. I was going to do that too, but I said, I think this is needed more now because of what I dealt with. I was coughing, and the coughing was just ridiculous. I don't know where that was coming from, but yeah, it kept me up. And I was thinking, well, maybe I should just go into the medicine realm to stop this coughing. Until I did that alkalining my body, and then it was just all just like zoop. And so now we're here. Like I said, I was never sick. Something was just passing through my vessel. That's how I want to approach 2023. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember that you are beautiful, and I love you. Bye.